Latel ventured into the forest to retrieve Misha's cherished necklace, but was attacked by a warlock. Just as Latel faced imminent danger, a mysterious traveler cloaked in white appeared, defeating the warlock with a single strike. The warlock retaliated with a powerful explosion, causing Latel to faint. He woke up in his home, tended by his childhood friends, Gint and Fred. They were very skeptical of his account of the forest encounter. Latel, determined to warn his father, the village mayor, about the forest dangers, he ventured first to return Misha's necklace. Misha, his stepsister, was battling a very mysterious illness, and Latel was desperate to find a cure. Spotting the traveler again, Latel pursued her. Introducing herself as Justia, she revealed to Latel that he had been struck by black magic, but had shown remarkable resilience. Latel's kind nature surprised Justia, a seasoned warlock hunter. Latel's persistence led Justia to allow him to accompany her to rescue Gint and Fred, who had ventured into the forest. Latel, a herb specialist, impressed Justia with his skills, helping them locate his friends. Gint, a cool-headed hunter, and Fred, a musclehead, were relieved to be found but hesitant to continue deeper into the forest. Despite the dangers, they all pressed on together. They faced numerous threats and numerous battles. A battle where Latel got injured. Justia revealed her true nature by sucking his blood, sprouting a horn and gaining strength. Though initially frightened, Fred and Gint trusted Latel's beliefs in Justia. Together, they defeated an ancient pig in a cave, strengthening their bond and getting closer. Using a magical circle, they returned to the village. Misha, excited to see Latel, was surprised by Justia's horn. Latel explained them away as a cosplay quirk. You know, Justia, she's just into certain stuff. Misha's cursed eye worried Justia, hinting at the deeper connections. At a nearby inn, Justia revealed her mission to hunt warlocks and questions Latel's regenerative abilities. It's a result of a past accident. That's all Latel said. Returning to the forest, they discovered undead monsters. Latel wanted to save them, but Justia knew it was way too late for them. They rescued a priestess, Lysiane, who explained that her companions had turned into undead after consuming a cursed herb. The legendary herb Adeline had been sought after, leading them to discover Latel's father was spreading this dangerous information. Desperately searching for his father and Misha, they found a hidden letter from Misha expressing her loneliness and her father's strange behavior. Latel's anxiety peaked as they discovered an ominous circle in their home. Justia tried to calm him down. Eventually they found a basement inside their home where Misha was held captive. Misha was there panicking and stressed out, and their father was right beside her, and the father revealed he had been experimenting with black magic on both his daughter Misha and on his adoptive son Latel, causing her curse and Latel's abilities. In a tragic climax, their father sacrificed Misha in a ritual, turning fully into a warlock, killing his daughter. Consumed by grief and rage, Latel and his friends killed him, vowing to avenge Misha and to prevent further sufferings happening around the world. Latel and Justia embarked on a quest on a journey to hunt down all warlocks. Justia revealed her true identity. She is a senior knight and acting unit commander of the Imperial Security Task Force. This cemented their partnership in the mission to wipe out all warlocks. As they arrive in a new village, Justia is urgently searching for her friend, leaving Latel puzzled that she even has one. The villagers speak in hushed tones about a Lapis witch who can cut rocks with water, and this might just be her. She's rumored to be seeking something in the mines, but its nature remains a mystery. Determined to uncover the truth, they venture into the depths of the mine, where her friend Shera is said to be waiting. The mines are scary, they're dangerous, filled with traps, monsters, and unexpected allies. Among them is Wiggle, a friendly skeleton with a knack for charging into things and blowing up. Despite his very limited vocabulary, Wiggle proves to be an amazing companion and ally as they go through the dangerous mines. Finally, they meet the Lapis witch, Sherazade, or Shera for short. Surrounded by guards, a battle begins, which they win with relative ease. Shera is a master of water magic and a mischievous teaser, keeps suggesting a scandalous relationship between Latel and Justia, much to their Shera reveals to her quest for a rare mana stone in the mines. The increased presence of barriers and soldiers raises their suspicions, prompting further investigation. Using her knowledge of alchemy and magic, Shera devises a way to dismantle the barriers. As they go deeper and deeper, they face attacks, relentless attacks from soldiers of an unknown kingdom. After fights, numerous skirmishes, they discover Dwyn Noble, orchestrating something sinister. They rescue Dr. Remnant, who shares his information he found out. Scary is happening. Remnant joins the quest to find the truth. In her impatience, Shera triggers a trap, but Latal shields her with his body. Shera worries about Yustia's reaction, mistaking her anger for something else, when it's actually Yustia's struggle with her bloodlust. The adversaries are revealed to be a Dwyn noble, Rotain warlord, and two princesses, Milrose and Milae, of the Bake Kingdom. After defeating the princesses, who retreat in humiliation, a fleshy bowman from a third party shoots a poisonous arrow at Yustia before fleeing. Desperately, Latal and Shera rush Yustia to hospital. Overwhelmed with guilt, Shera seeks a cure in the library with Remnant's help. Latal, recalling the special nature of his blood, lets Yustia drink from his arm, which miraculously aids her recovery. Shera, remorseful for her deceit, confesses that she fabricated the warlock story to lure Yustia for help. She reveals that Adeline is a poison and Berwyn City is a distribution hub. Driven by guilt and a desire for redemption, Shera joins them on their journey to Berwyn. Shera also reveals that her sister Therese is missing, fueling her desperate search in the mines for clues. Understanding the magnitude of the threat posed by Adeline, the trio, now bound and shed purpose and newfound friendship, they set off to uncover the mystery behind the poison that has caused so much suffering. In the city, we meet two thugs who seem to know about Adeline, but they run away before we can question them. We head to the mercenary guild for information, but without proper identification we can't get any help. We decide to ask the mercenaries around the city instead. One of them knows about the bowman we're looking for, called Grey of the Mist. He has a little sister, Bernie, who was last seen near the sewers. We find Bernie stealing and we explain to her what her brother did. She doesn't believe he would do such evil acts and decides to help us find him. We head into the sewers, fighting monsters along the way. The place is filled with monsters, making it very suspicious. We find two thugs again, chase after them and interrogate them. They confess they only bought Adeline from a stranger to sell for profit. Finally, we find Grey and question him about the poisonous arrow. Shocked, Grey explains he didn't know it was poisonous. He was paid to shoot an arrow with sleeping pills, but it turned out to be a fraud. Grey is in the sewers looking for his friend Crow, who is now missing and connected to Adeline. Grey, skilled at detecting traps, leads us deeper into the sewers, where we eventually find Crow. Sadly, Crow has been turned into an undead. Filled with anger and sadness, Grey vows to avenge Crow and destroy the source of Adeline poison. He ends Crow's undead life to protect his friend's pride. Now Yustia, Latal, Shera and Grey team up to defeat the warlocks. After finding a secret path and battling hordes of undead, we meet the warlock, a lich named Craymont. Craymont didn't create Adeline, but experimented with it on the city's people, killing Crow in the process. Together we defeat Craymont, who leaves behind cryptic words like blood imprints and awakening. We report everything to the mercenary guild, explaining the spread of Adeline in the city. The guild promises to take responsibility. Grey receives a bag from a beast girl with animal ears, who might be the one behind the fraudulent request. We spot her outside the city and try to question her, but Ro, as she's called, refuses to talk and swiftly disappears. Grey formally introduces himself as a mercenary. His sister Bernie stays behind to help the guild with the Adeline investigation. Now Grey, Latal, Yustia and Shera decide to team up to find Ro and uncover the mystery behind Adeline. Grey wakes up from a nightmare about his past. He remembers Count Blair massacring the citizens of Rodef and how, as a young noble, he saved a spiritless girl and a bunny girl. The girl was Shera, and he saved her and her friend when they were children. The group arrives in the town, built by those who suffered under a tyrannical noble. They suspect the cat girl they're searching for is somewhere here. A talking cat approaches them, which Latal initially thinks is a dream. The cat runs away and a mysterious tall man offers to help them if they solve his problems. After doing so, he tells them the cat ran to the mountains In the mountains, they find a house and enter, spotting Ro, the cat girl, who runs away in fear. They eventually find her injured and surrounded by monsters. They rescue her, learning she's worried about her friend Olstein. Ro reveals Olstein gave Grey the mission to shoot Adeline glazed arrow at Justia, and that he believes Grey and his friends are key to stopping Adeline. Ro leads them to Olstein's hideout. Battling through many enemies and barriers, they find Olstein, almost turned into an undead, shouting for blood. Latel lets him drink his special blood, which cures him. Olstein reveals he has been spying on them and explains that Adeline is a terrible poison. He has been fighting those who created it for a very long time and discovered Latel's blood can cure the curse, like him and Justia. Olstein takes them to the masterminds behind Adeline, the evil organization Cocytus, hiding in the mountains. Ro, who was tortured and trained by Cocytus, helps them with her ability to read warlock passwords. She was a test subject for Adeline and cursed, with her power sealed in gloves made by Olstein. Using an army of cats, they find the assassin's hideout. They meet Amber, Ro's old companion, who feels betrayed and left behind by Ro. Amber, corrupted by forbidden powers, believes the only way to escape Cocytus is to become an apostle. Despite Ro's pleas, Amber is consumed by power and they are forced to fight her. They defeat Amber, who warns that the apostles are coming. An apostle named Blade appears and attacks, sending Justia flying. As they are about to be killed, the tall man Alec arrives to help, giving them 5 minutes to escape. Alec, who has a huge wanted poster in the guild, battles Blade, allowing everyone else to retreat to the village. At the pub, they discuss their plans. Alec and Blade disappeared during the fight. Cocytus' main goal was to capture Latel, the blood imprint. Olstein proposes Operation Blood Moon, which involves making a contract with the Aldebaran mercenaries, the biggest mercenary group in Alan, to gain allies against Cocytus. Latel, Justia, Shera and Grey agree to the plan and decide to travel to the faraway country to seek their help. Alan is a city in the middle of a desert. It's very hot, too hot for Justia, who struggles with the heat. We take her to the nearest mercenary guild, where we mention we are looking for the Aldebaran mercenaries. The receptionist becomes cold and directs us to their base. Mentioning Olstein's name to the Aldebaran mercenaries gets us inside. The Aldebaran mercenaries are led by twin sisters, Rubia and Sylvia, who are both very beautiful. Unfortunately, they are currently arguing, and we need both of their approvals to form an alliance. Rubia storms off to solve a problem, and Sylvia explains the situation to us. Someone has poisoned the oasis, creating a crisis and distrust between the mercenaries and the city's citizens. Sylvia tells us that to form the alliance, we need to find her sister Rubia. Sylvia joins us and we follow Rubia into some ruins. Despite the Lord banning investigations, Sylvia, with her convincing skills, helps us get in. The ruins are full of ancient monsters and traps. We press on, relying on Latel's keen sense of smell. He picks up the scent of high quality healing herbs, which alarms Sylvia, and we rush in that direction. We find signs of a battle but no Rubia. Sylvia is worried because Rubia has likely fought soldiers from Dwyn, an enemy kingdom far away. Something suspicious is happening. Sylvia loves her sister and decides to go deeper into the ruins with us. Latel continues to sniff around and Sylvia is impressed, even comparing him to a dog she once had. Eventually we hear sword clashes and find Rubia fighting the Alaric Lord who betrayed his city to Dwyn. Rubia is enraged and tries to kill him, understanding now why Sylvia didn't reveal this earlier. Rubia and Sylvia finally reunite. We team up and escape the ruins. Back at headquarters, we devise a plan. Sylvia is angry and wants revenge on the Alaric Lord, who is now trying to frame us and has put a bounty on our heads. We go to the guild receptionist, who nullifies the bounty because they sympathize with us. We return to the ruins to deal with the Alaric Lord. Both Rubia and Sylvia show their impressive fighting skills. During the exploration, Sylvia reveals that Olstein is a vassal of Queen Wilhelmia of the Beirun Kingdom. This is shocking, because Olstein never shares information with us. We finally catch up to the Alaric Lord, but he releases an ancient monster. We defeat the monster, but the ruins start to crumble. The evil Grand Duke Helmut, who was scheming with the Alaric Lord, tries to blow up the ruins with dynamite. We escape just in time, leaving the Lord to his fate. We celebrate our victory and form an alliance with the Aldebaran mercenaries. A talking cat appears again, and it seems Olstein is using cats to spy and communicate. The cat brings news of a magic tower ruled by a witch named Eclipse, who might know about blood imprints and Adeline. That's our next destination. The magic tower is located high in the sky, floating amongst the clouds, Currently, it's under attack by Cocytus. Luckily, the gatekeeper recognizes Shera, her former colleague from school, and lets us in. The tower is at war with Cocytus, and Miss Eclipse, the master, already knew about our arrival. We need to find her. The tower is tall with many floors filled with traps and hidden magic circles. It's a difficult journey, but Shera's magic skills help us. We meet an old man, Jeffrey, the wise master who helps us reach the higher floors. Eventually we find Eclipse. She's beautiful, has a horn and is not a human. Eclipse knew about our arrival thanks to Orstein. We have many questions, but first we must deal with the Cocytus attack. Eclipse notices Latel using Terra, a black magic power. Our group hates Terra and dark magic, but Eclipse explains there's a difference between using it for evil and using it like Asian mages did. She uses Terra to teleport to her office, shocking us because we associate it with evil. We meet Eclipse's student Celia, who is wary of us, but Eclipse believes we can help in this war. Cocytus is attacking to get a relic. Jeffrey wants to use more Terra to defeat them, but Eclipse warns against using it due to its dangerous property. The relic can give out Terra without the need for the blood imprint. Black magic results from abusing Terra. The relic is at the top of the tower and we head over there. On the upper floors we find out Jeffrey has turned traitor. He leaked information about the tower's defenses, aiding Cocytus. The relics at the top is Zig's arm, filled with Terra. To remove it, they must destroy the tower's core, which would collapse the tower. We fix the core, but Jeffrey, now corrupted by Terra, attacks us. Eclipse doesn't want to give up on him, but remembering him as a child, but Celia insists it's too late. At the top, we face an apostle named Morpea. Eclipse recognizes and mocks her. Morpea uses Zig's arm to turn Jeffrey into a monster. Enraged, Eclipse fights Morpea. While we battle Jeffrey, Morpea fails to take Zig's arm, but tries to destroy the tower with a massive explosion, using Jeffrey as the detonator. Eclipse and Celia combine their powers to stop the explosion. Celia is injured, leaving a scar on her face. We take them to safety. The battle ends. Cocytus retreats and we protect the tower and Zig's arm. Our heroes learn that dark magic isn't inherently evil. It depends on its use. Long ago, people tried to use Terra to rule the world, but a hero named Zig stopped them, locking Terra's power in his arm. The blood imprint was a failed attempt to replicate this power. Later reveals his arm, which looks like Zig's arm. The blood imprint turns a person's body into a tool, creating Terra. Justia is a shock, but realizes she had been using black magic to fight evil. Eclipse reassures her that it's how you use the power that matters. Eclipse recommends we go to a place called Larkal, where Cocytus received Adeline. With a new destination, we bid farewell to Eclipse and Celia and head out. Our group of heroes discovers a burned down church, likely destroyed by Cocytus. While investigating the debris, we find a latch leading to an underground area marked with bloodstains, indicating a fierce battle. Following the blood trail, we reach a suspicious cave full of lizard men. After defeating them, we learn that Shera's last name is Armin, and she's the adopted daughter of a noble. This is news to Grey, but known to Justia and Latel. Shera is searching for her missing sister, Therese, and finds a handkerchief that belonged to her, confirming Cocytus' involvement. Continuing through the cave, we find many dead bodies, all marked by dark magic power, Terra. Latel, angered by the memories of his home village, Lugo, and the city of Berwyn, vows to eliminate Cocytus. We hear a child crying and save a girl named Anastasia from a lizard man. She lost her mirror and was searching for it in the cave. We promise to help her find it, reminding Latel of her sister, Misha. After finding the mirror, Anastasia asks us to find her friends. Surprising us as we search, a shadowy figure attacks us, demanding the return of the children. The figure emits a dangerous amount of Terra, like an apostle. Anastasia recognizes her and calls out, "Therese!" Shera gasps, realizing it's her long-lost sister. Hearing Shera's voice, the dark magic dissipates, revealing Therese. The sisters reunite. Therese explains she had been fighting warlocks to save children from Cocytus' inhuman experiments. She and the children from her orphanage were kidnapped, tortured and tested on. Cocytus captures people and forces those with dark magic potential to consume Adeline, turning most into undead. Some, like Therese, survive and gain strange powers, becoming apostle candidates. Latel and Shera, filled with rage, vow to destroy Cocytus. There are still children lost in the cave. Therese can't rest and jumps back into danger. We follow her. We learn Justia used to live with Shera in Rodev village, and after Justia left, Rodev went to war, resulting in Shera losing her parents and being adopted by Count Armin, Therese's father, making them stepsisters. Deeper in the cave, we find the kidnapped children with Apostle Burke and the evil researcher Azir. We battle them. Azir escapes and we surprisingly defeat Burke easily. We rescue the children and return to the village, but Anastasia is missing. Clues lead us to the east of forest, where we find the signs of Anastasia's captured by Cocytus. We charge towards their location, eliminating Cocytus members along the way. We encounter Ember, a friend of Ro who still believes in gaining power for freedom. To stay Anastasia, we must defeat Ember and Apostle Burke again. Latel allows Teres to use his power to become stronger and rescue Anastasia. Teresa pleads with Ember to stop, but Ember, corrupted by Terra, refuses and takes a power-boosting drug, becoming even more corrupt. In her desperation, she tries to absorb Latel's power, but in a twist, Latel absorbs Ember, stopping the explosion and turning into a dark version of himself. Cocytus escapes and we fail to save Anastasia. Returning to the village, Latel feels a new kind of power. Now able to control Terra, despite everything he remains determined to wipe out Cocytus. Thousands died under the church, turning into monsters. Teresa stays to eliminate all traces of Cocytus and asks us to go to Rodev to meet Leatris, an informant fighting against Cocytus. Teresa believes Leatris can help us find the offerings and save Anastasia. Latel regrets his past, feeling foolish and weak. He blames himself for the little sister's death and vows to never hesitate ever again, even if it means using Terra to its full potential. Rodev, a poor village after the war, has terrible living conditions. To find Leatris, we seek information in the slums. A boy gives us a code to enter, where we find monsters, likely sent by Cocytus, making Latel even more aggressive. Following a familiar voice, we encounter Apostle Burke again. Despite his resilience, we defeat him, but are soon surrounded by enemies. A bunny girl with amazing archer skills saves us. It's Leatris. Leatris is thrilled to see her childhood friends, but freezes when she sees Grey, her face turning red. Confused, Justia and Shera watch as Leatris leaves a note asking to meet her at the pub. At the pub, Leatris reveals she knows a lot about her friends, thanks to her intelligence network. She's the leader of the bandits and has deep feelings for Grey, since he saved her during the war. Gathering her courage, she asks Grey to marry her, shocking him. Despite the awkward reunion, we focus on finding Cocytus. Strange events in Rodev are linked to their influence. Leatris' strong feelings for Grey surprise even Shera, who has never seen her act this way. During our investigation, we discover that Jennifer, one of the bandits, betrayed Leatris and sided with Cocytus. We head to the bandits' hideout to deal with the traitors. Dark Latel and Leatris Camerdi worries Shera, but Justia believes Latel will eventually snap out of it. We capture and kill the traitorous bandits, leaving Justia shocked by Latel's ruthless actions, which she regrets involving him in this madness, seeing a reflection of her former self in him. We then confront Jennifer and the warlock narrate. Jennifer, seeking to become an apostle, is defeated along with the bandits. We rescue the captives, and Justia's decision not to kill the undead immediately surprises Latel. Her journey has changed her thanks to the influences of Wiggle, Crow, Eclipse, Therese, and Latel. Apostle Burke appears again, greedy for power and food. Despite Narrate's warnings, he attacks, and we defeat her. She tries to blow up the place, but Latel stops her, absorbing the power instead. This turns out to be a trap. Latel is now mind-controlled and walks into the enemy base on Apostle Burke's command. Burke and Blade laugh, planning to eat Latel against Cocytus' orders. Just in time, Grey, Shera, Justia, and Leatris arrive to save him. A massive battle ensues. Apostle Blade is too strong, and Apostle Burke, driven mad by his hunger for power, betrays orders. Latel absorbs Burke instead, but the overload of Terra makes him bleed and weakens him. As Apostle Blade realizes the danger of an evolved blood imprint, she tries to deal with Latel. Suddenly, a dimension gate opens and Apostle Nox appears, stabbing Latel in the abdomen. Justia cries in despair as Latel's final words are, Justia, did I protect you all?
실험체 회수는 네게 맡기지.
알겠다.
유스티아.
더 이상 말하지 말아요. 지금이라도 어서 응급처치를.
유티. 나 너희 지킬 수 있었어.
네, 라텔. 당신 덕분에 사도를 둘이나 막아냈어요. 그러니 안심하고 지금은 푹 쉬도록 해요. 돌아가면 힘이 날 수 있도록 제가 솜씨 발휘해서 당신이 제 요리.
나는 죽는 건가? 아직 할 일이 남았는데. 미샤, 유스티아, 세라, 그레이, 다들 미안해.
1 year has passed since Latel's death. Bridget, Captain Sylvia, and Captain Rubia capture someone who looks eerily familiar. Many have looked like him, but this Iron Mask man stands out. They lock him up and are shocked when they see his real face. It's Latel. Eustia is urgently summoned by Shera to this place. The Leviathan guard inspects her, but she shows the crest of the Empire Duke, and they let her in, shouting "Death to Cocytus!" The mercenaries of Aldebaran and Leviathan armies have allied to fight the evil forces of Cocytus. Eustia meets Shera in the club, where Shera reveals that Leviathan is an organization resisting Cocytus. Olstein, Sylvia, Rubia, and others support this cause. Everything was going well until masked men appeared, turning the tide in favor of Cocytus. Olstein dispatched Rubia and Sylvia to capture one, and when they took off his mask, it was Latel's face. Eustia and Shera can't believe it and want to see it for themselves. Latel was stabbed by Nox and kidnapped. There's a small chance he's still alive, but it's hard to believe. At the base, they find Grey, who is also curious to see the truth. Sadly, the masked man escapes, and they must find him in the mountains, fighting hordes of Cocytus and Wind soldiers. They find someone who looks like Latel, but is incredibly scared. Not wanting to endanger anyone, he escaped the base, fearing Sir Parnir. Shera and Eustia are shocked to see him. He has the same face, but acts totally differently. They distrust him, but take him back to headquarters and put him in a prison cell. Eustia, always desiring Latel's blood, drinks his blood to see if it's really him. Upon drinking, Latel's pain lessens and he starts remembering Eustia's name, even though he thinks it's his first time meeting her. Eustia is convinced he's the real Latel. Cocytus has mass-produced an army of blood imprints, multiple clones of Latel, but none seem like the one they captured. This Latel is different from the rest. Everyone still distrusts him at first, but over time, while fighting Cocytus together, they soften towards him. Latel has been brainwashed, but deep inside he's still kind-hearted. He's called Blood Imprint number 166, but when Eustia calls him Latel, his eyes brighten, and he starts considering Eustia his master. They go deep into the forest to investigate. Leviathan distracts Cocytus' forces while they sneak around to fight their boss. They find Sir Parmir, the mastermind behind the current battle, and a huge fight ensues. They defeat Parmir, but something starts controlling Parmir's disappearing body. This mysterious being tells Eustia, daughter of Olivier, if you continue on this path, the truth will be revealed to you. This being is also an enemy of Cocytus. They return to Leviathan's base to celebrate. It's a huge victory. Having driven away Cocytus' forces, Olstein reveals that Latel is most likely a Homunculus, a lifelike doll. Count Leonhard has a mage who knows the art of Homunculus under him. That's their next destination. Count Leonhard is the commander of the base, Bridget's commanding officer, the one who gathered the forces against Cocytus and founded Leviathan. Latel has a nightmare about his father and sister and wakes up to a comforting embrace from Diane, the Homunculus expert. A few hours earlier, our heroes tried to find Diane, but it wasn't easy. The Count was unavailable and the security guards wouldn't let them in. Latel's friendly and talkative nature helps him gather crucial information. Everyone except Grey wants to meet the Count, but Grey is hesitant due to his history with him. Eventually they meet the Count and Diane. Shera recognizes Diane as a former teacher. When they explain they need her help with Latel, Diane, whose motives are hard to read, sends them to the dungeon. Grey tries to calm the situation by revealing his name, but it doesn't work out. They all get sent to the dungeon except for Latel, who is taken in by Diane to her secret room. Uneasy and impatient, they break out of the cell to find Latel. Eustia and Shera are worried and sprint towards the sounds they hear. They find Diane using her pet, which has special powers to help Latel. Diane reveals that Latel is unstable due to the Terra inside him, making him a ticking time bomb. To cure him, they need a special core from another Homunculus. Diane created many Homunculi, and Cocytus used her knowledge to create an army of Latel copies. They discovered that a regular core won't do. They need something special. The Homunculi, thinking their lives are at risk, battle the heroes. The truth is that every Homunculus has more than one core, but they don't know this, making the hunt for a core feel wrong. The powerful and pure core needed to save Latel is inside Leonhard, who turns out to be the greatest Homunculus created by Diane, not the real Count Leonhard. After meeting Latel, Leonhard decides to sacrifice his core to save Latel. He wishes to die fighting like a true warrior, and they agree to an epic duel. Leonhard passes on his righteous, courageous, and brave spirit to Latel. With Latel fixed, it's time to fulfill his promise and meet the real Leonhard. As they prepare to leave the city, they see Ro delivering an important message from Olstein. The king of Rotain has been assassinated, and Leonhard is suspected and imprisoned. This news shocks Grey, whose full name is revealed to be Gis Grey Blair, the older brother of the king of Rotain. Boris, the king of Rotain and Grey's younger brother, was assassinated by one of his men. Boris had refused to use the wings, powerful relic, to avoid causing a massacre, even if it meant bowing to another kingdom. The traitor, disagreeing with this, killed him. Grey is devastated by the news. To confirm the truth, we hurry to the palace. Ro leaves to meet Olstein at the castle. Grey uses his real name, Gis Grey Blair, the prince, to gain an easy entry. The castle is at war with Cocytus. We find Archbolte, a noble we saw at a secret meeting with Grand Duke Helmut at Dareth Mine. Grey mourns Boris' death. Leonhard, the main suspect, has escaped the dungeon. We must find him to uncover the truth. Outside the castle, we find fallen soldiers turned into beasts by Cocytus. Latel, thanks to Leonhard's core, can save them by extracting Terra. We discover Leonhard is innocent. He came to propose a tripartite alliance against Cocytus. Boris had agreed, but he was assassinated, and Leonhard was framed. We suspect Archbolte, who was at a secret meeting with Dwin and Bake a year ago. We find the king's missing coffin with Archibald standing on it. He reveals he killed Boris to steal the wings of Blair, a relic Cocytus wants. Archibald believes the Blair family is weak. We defeat him and the wings fly to Eustia, choosing her as their successor. Ro and Olstein arrive, explaining that the wings exude immense terror, corrupting their possessor. Eustia might be the only one who can control them without being corrupted. At the pub, secrets are revealed. Grey saved Leatrice and Shera years ago. He regrets not stopping his father's tyranny and leaving Boris with all the responsibility. Now it's time to avenge Boris and protect the people. Ro returns, crying that Olstein is in danger. Cocytus has started their siege again. Using a secret passage, we head outside the castle to attack. The village is in flames. Ro evacuates the citizens, the children, while we fight the invading leader, Apostle Partan. The battle is fierce, but we are saved by Grandhilder, a Valkyr who fights alongside us. We defeat Partan with everyone's combined efforts. Grandhilder disappears, searching for someone. We return to the castle to celebrate. Rotain is without a king, and Grey isn't ready to succeed the throne until Cocytus is defeated. Duke Armin, Shera and Teresa's father, will protect Rotain in the meantime. Our next destination is Arcadia, a sacred land where we can destroy the dangerous Black Wings. In Arcadia, we need to find a special nun. At the nearest inn, they tell us to look for her at the Zoltan Merchant Guild. Zoltan, who used to run a criminal organization, turned over a new leaf after a nun saved his life from a warlock. Now he helps nuns and is a good person. At the Merchant Guild, we meet Zoltan, who takes us to meet the nun. Suddenly, we get ambushed by bandits and Zoltan in the wine cellar. He thinks we are warlocks working for Cocytus. Homunculus and here to harm the nun. Fortunately, one of the bandits recognizes us and vouches for us, clearing up the misunderstanding. Then there's an emergency. Orcs are in the forest and the nun hasn't returned yet. We enter the forest to fight off the orcs and find the nun. Eventually we find her. The nun from Arcadia is a huge crybaby, but despite being easily scared, she has a kind heart and helps others, even if it means risking her own life. Her name is Liberta. Sadly, the knights who accompanied her didn't make it. Justia's heart starts to beat faster whenever she smells the blood of ogres. Liberta knows how to heal it. She can absorb the venom inside Justia with a technique she learned from the Order. Using her magic, she converts the bodies of ogres into a vial of blood, known as Adeline. This blood can revive those who are cursed and give them superhuman strength. Liberta entrusts the vial to Latel, believing that he's the most responsible person in the group. She reveals that during ancient times, the ogre's blood was called Adeline. Once revived after consuming Adeline, one gains superhuman strength and can be revived again, no matter how injured they are by consuming more Adeline. Liberta deduces that Justia has been revived once by consuming Adeline. Attracted to ogre blood, that's another reason she entrusted Latel with Adeline. We venture deeper into the forest to find the warlock responsible for the ogres and orcs going wild. Liberta purifies the area but gets stabbed and killed by Apostle Nox. As she dies, she apologizes. Nox came to retrieve the wings. Enraged at losing another dear friend, Justia charges at Nox in a brutal fight. It's too late for Liberta, and Justia, unable to control her emotions, unleashes the wings' power. We are still too weak and stand no chance against Nox. A bandit arrives and buys us time with a smoke bomb. Justia is severely injured and Terra runs wild inside her. To save her, Latel uses the ogre blood from Liberta, which acts as a resurrection elixir. Justia becomes stronger and her synchronization with the feather strengthens. Determined to end this hell, she charges with all her strength. Nox leaves, but Justia starts coughing up blood and everyone cries. Justia remembers her painful past, always feeling weak and relying on others. She sees a shadow and follows it, ending up in a village on a snowy mountain called Whitefall Village. Confused about where she is and what happened to Latel, Shera and Grey, she buys an old map showing the village is in the northern Bern. Fiends appear in the village, which is strange because such enemies would have destroyed the village by now. While investigating, Justia sees the shadow again and chases it. Hearing a girl with a sword trying to save Tia and Refi, Justia catches up to the shadow and meets an unfamiliar girl named Refitea. Together they fight snowy mountain ogres. Refi explains that monsters are attacking the house of the White Witch, who she prefers to call Angel. Refi will call Justia Justi to differentiate her from Tia. Refi is Tia's older sister and the White Witch is Tia's mother, though she acts like a mom to Refi too. Refi is an elf who has lived a long time. Justia, worried about the villagers lying on the ground, wants to return to the village quickly. Despite Refi's attempts to stop her, Justia needs to see it for herself. Upon returning, everyone in the village acts like they are meeting Justia for the first time. Shocked and clueless, Justia finds Refi, who creates a barrier to stop her from going further. Refi doesn't want Justia to suffer more and creates monsters to stop her. Justia, confused, thinks Refi might be a warlock trying to hurt everyone. Refi runs away, unable to convey her feelings. Justia chases and fights Refi, who wants Justia to have only happy memories. Justia refuses to believe Refi and continues the chase. Justia then sees her past, memories she doesn't remember. Storas, a village resident, gave poison to Justia and experimented on her. Little Tia is actually Justia from the past. The White Witch is Justia's mother, and Refi is Justia's older sister. Overwhelmed by this revelation, Justia realizes these memories are mixed with illusions in her dark past. The White Witch, Justia's mother, was powerful and kind, protecting Justia at all costs. Justia relives her past, playing with her sister Refitea, until she snaps out of it, understanding her dark memories and Storas, the warlock who ruined everything. Refi reveals that Justia's mother, Olivier, sacrificed everything to protect Justia. Refi wanted to stop Justia from remembering the painful memories, but now supports her facing them. They meet Tia, Justia's dark side, embodying her regrets and guilt. Tia mocks Justia for being weak and wanting to forget the truth. Refi, who can intervene in dreams thanks to fairy magic, helps Justia realize that Tia is influenced by the black feather and wings. Justia and Tia make up, and Refi is happy to see them working together towards the truth. Justia recalls that little Tia drank Adeline, not water, making her crave blood. Justia, tormented by this thirst, destroyed everything. Olivier cured Justia by sacrificing herself, praying for Justia to have a happy life and forget the painful memories. Understanding everything, Justia thanks Tia and Refi. Justia promises to find Refetea in the real world and work together with Tia. Tia calls her a dork and tells her to wake up to the real world already.
네. 그래. 결국 네가 이겼네. 승리감을 마음껏 만끽하도록 해. 그럴 수 있을 리가 없잖아요. 이 기억이 정말이라면 저를 구하기 위해 어머니가... 당신은 어떻게 이 모든 것을 알고서도 멀쩡히 있을 수 있는 거지요? 너한테는 이게 멀쩡한 모습으로 보여? 이제부터 시작이야. 죄를 알아버린 이상 너는 이제 평생 그 죄책감과 싸우며 살아야 해. 티아, 미안해, 티아. 레피는 티아가 그저 유티가 가진 악몽의 그림자일 뿐인 줄 알았는데. 쓸데없는 이야기는 그만. 우리에겐 이제 시간이 없어. 너 검은 깃털과 어머니와의 관계는 알아냈어? 네, 짐작가는 바는 있어요. 그래, 그럼 이제 나 같은 거는 상관하지 말고 레피 언니랑 못다한 이야기나 하는 게 어때? 레피 언니는 바보니까 자기가 무슨 존재고 어떻게 여기 있는지도 말해주지 않았지? 아니야. 언젠가 바깥에 있는 진짜 레피가 설명해줄 거라고 생각해서. 그리고 레피는 여기서 결국 이방인일 뿐이야. 중요한 건 티아랑 유티라고. 아휴, 레피 언니는 정말 언제까지고 바보네. 아까 언니 말이 맞아. 나는 여기서 결국 그저 그림자일 뿐인 존재. 유티? 잠깐! 너 무슨 짓이야? 고마워요, 레피 언니. 제가 저로 있을 수 있게 도와줘서 고마워요, 티아. 제가 버린 진실을 끝까지 마주하고 있어줘서. 나는... 악몽이 무너지기 시작했군요. 이별하기 전에 감사를 전할 수 있어서 다행이에요. 유티! 아마 진짜 레피는 지금 유티 곁에 없는 것 같지만 분명 무슨 이유가 있을 거야. 레피는 누가 뭐라고 해도 유티의 첫 번째 언니니까. 네, 이제 당신에 대해 떠올렸으니 일어나면 꼭 당신을 찾아보도록 하겠어요. 비겁자. 네, 그 말이 맞아요. 그러니 지금부터라도 당신 혼자 짊어오던 짐을 나누어 들도록 하겠어요. 앞으로 잘 부탁드립니다, 티아. 바보야! 빨리 가기나 해. 자, 이제 길고 길었던 꿈에서 깨어날 시간이군요.